What is your name?
My name is Michael Cameron. I'm retired. I'm an activist. I'm part of several organizations. I do food justice for children Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm also a food justice leader, which means that I go ahead in stores in areas where you consider deprived or food deserts. I make sure that they get fresh foods and stuff like that. Then we do report cards on that. Plus, I'm pretty active in my church. I deal with the pantry, well as Bible studies and things like that. You know, my whole life consists of service.
How did you become involved with the coalition?
I was asked by a friend named Stephen. I got very interested right away because I started learning a lot more about food and what was nutritious for me. And then when I looked at my community, because at the time I was living down here in the Tenderloin, I sat there and saw how we were really being deprived of fruits and vegetables. I was a little concerned about like the children. We have 4,200 children in this community. It takes the nearest store is like over a mile. So, you know, like, what do you do if you just want some tomatoes and onions and some pasta, and yet you want stuff that's nutritious, and you can't find that in your area. So that really concerned me, and I wanted to be actively trying to enforce where people at least have fresh food.
How long have you lived in the Tenderloin?
Off and on now about 6 years, 7 years.
And if you had to explain your job to somebody that didn't know anything about the coalition, how would you describe what you do?
I describe that we sit there and we try to bring healthy, good, nutritious food to a community that's deprived of it.
Do you go out and speak to the residents individually? Do you go to stores?
Oh,
Do you do
yes.
a little bit of both?
We do. We go into, like, matter of fact, we go to soon go. We do this every other year. We stores that allow us. We go in there and do an inventory of what they have, what kind of sugary content they have in comparison to what is not sugar. We look at cereals, beans, pasta, frozen goods, and all of that, and we give them report cards based upon, or do they have services like having EDT cards and where people can, go in there and get fresh food.
And as far as the history of the Tenderloin, do you think that because there are so many SROs and because historically it's been kind of I don't know how you would describe the Tenderloin.
Really,
there's been a lot of vice in the Tenderloin.
Right. You know, really historically, in the Tenderloin, it used to be because that it had no children.
Yeah.
This was a red light district that was basically for adult fun. And then what happened is that the city's only like 7 miles wide. And so also after Vietnam, a lot of kids families started coming into the Tenderloin. And then also they needed services and so forth. And then, it blew up the way it is now. But originally, this is where if you like music, jazz, and clubs.
Whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey, prostitution, drugs. It was available, but it was like for grown-ups. And now with us, we're really more family-oriented. So it's like we kind of had to adopt that as things begin to change and so forth. And so now, what do you do with all these children? What kind of, parks, foods, programs? And so, the Tenderloin had to adopt to that. And to be honest with you, they're doing really, really good. There's after-school programs, there's computer classes, there's drama classes, there's YMCA here at Bodeca Park, which is a park that they used to be adults, and now it's service basically for children. You'll notice that you walk through here, you don't see anybody with any wine bottles, beer bottles, smoking dope, or any of this. This is like a safe haven. And so, we're beginning to adapt to, how things have changed, and it's for the better. But we still have music, and we still have art, and we still have all of that.
Yeah.
And the SROs, they're in now, but politically, with the gentrification, they can fade at any time,
Yeah.
because the owners of the building could all of a sudden sit there and say,
Sell it.
well, now my building's is fixed up, and I got people that will come in here and spend more money, and so this now I'm going to just not have this program. Now the only ones that would survive in this area is the SROs that actually bought the property, and that's few of them.
It's really interesting watching the demographics of the Tenderloin change, because I feel like if it were to become more gentrified, and maybe this is me just like making an overstatement, but then there would be a full service retail or grocery store that would be more inclined to come into the neighborhood. And I think it's a shame that it takes gentrification to bring healthier options to people just for monetary reasons.
Originally we used to have the middle grade stores down here, the supermarkets that had stocked just about everything. They knew everybody in the community. And then all of a sudden the city got greedy and they started bumping and making it very difficult for those stores to survive against the Safeways and the Lucky's and those kind of stores. And then they left. And then we were just totally left with liquor stores.
With corner stores.
Right. And then, we got all these different laws that, like for instance, that they could get cited for this and that, and found out that none of them in the 4 or 5 years since they have created that, have they fulfilled a lawsuit against one of the stores.
Interesting. And how long have you been with the coalition?
Well, this is the coalition. I've been on a little over a year.
A little over a year.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you all to remodel Fox Market?
Oh, it didn't really take that long. You had the health department,
With Jessica.
With Jessica, come in, and you had different other agencies come in, and so it benefited them. And then when they start seeing how, also when you have better foods, you get a different clientele in comparison to a liquor store. A liquor store, you got 30, 40 people hanging out the front of the store, so you got a lot of people that got families. They don't want to go to that store. Then on top of that, the thievery and the fights and all the other stuff, it's a big headache. So if you serve in a product that is healthy and so forth, then you don't get so much of, the riffraff.
Yeah. Does the coalition have like a food education program that they take to schools, or that they do?
Well, we haven't did schools yet, but that is something that's being talked about. Mm-hmm. But yet we do have pamphlets, and we do little education stuff, like we go into like SROs, we go into senior buildings, we go into those kind of places. But we're really trying to help people that it would benefit them, especially seniors, because they can't use hot plates, but they can use electrical plates, frying pans and stuff like this, and with the small refrigerators, how they can survive. Mm-hmm. And you do better when you cook than when you don't.
Awesome.